taking place in the Middle East region with an in-depth look and analysis. And in today's edition, we are going to talk about the developments taking place in Iraq and its implication on the whole region. And that would be our topic for discussion for today. But first, we'll be taking this short break.
Al-Aqsa, which means the farthest or the supreme in Arabic, is a mosque that lies in the heart of the old city of Jerusalem. Muslims from all sects hold it in high esteem after two main holy sites, Mecca and Medina. The Al-Aqsa is mentioned several times in the Quran. For instance, verse 17 in the chapter Al-Isra reads, "Glory be to him who carried his servant by night from Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa, the environs of which we have blessed, that we might show him some of our signs. Indeed, he is the hearing, the seeing." The verse is in relation to Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him's night journey from Medina to Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, where he performed prayers before a heavenly queen carried him through space to meet with the divine. According to Islamic sources, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's meeting with the divine happened beyond the scientific realm of time and space. He was miraculously transported from Mecca's Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, from where he ascended to the heavens. The Prophet's ascension took place during a time when he was facing intense hardship and pain from his tribe and family. He and his companions were being constantly ridiculed, humiliated and oppressed for adhering to the message of God. The many verses of the Quran and the Hadiths refer to various aspects and features of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Quran only mentions two mosques by name, the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca and Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. It also refers to Al-Haram, the surrounding area of the Holy Kaaba, where Muslims from all over the world congregate, pray and circle around the house of God. Similarly, the Quran also describes Al-Aqsa Mosque as the center of Bayt al-Maqdis, which means the Holy Land, and the land of Barakah, or the land of salvation and peace. In the Quran, Al-Aqsa and its surrounding area is described as blessed. According to the Islamic worldview, the term blessed land means a territory over which God has granted physical and spiritual bounties from which all creation can profit. Almost every prophet, including those who were born elsewhere, lived in the Holy Land or had a special connection to it, which makes Al-Aqsa important in the eyes of Muslims.
Our regional news bulletin, where Nikolai Mladenov, the lead envoy of the Board of Peace, the U.S.-led body overseeing the Gaza ceasefire agreement, said that he was working with parties, mediators and regional partners to de-escalate and create the peace for the full implementation of the U.S. President Donald Trump's plan. This comes as Israeli attacks in Gaza continued for a second straight day on Sunday, killing at least 18 people in the past 24 hours, while on Friday the Board of Peace published a 15-point roadmap setting out the final steps for implementing the ceasefire agreement. Trump asserted on Thursday that Hamas and other groups had agreed to the second phase of the peace plan, raising hopes of a turning point in efforts to end the conflict and kick Gaza reconstruction plans. And Lebanese President Joseph Aoun on Monday urged the judiciary to issue long-awaited indictment over the 2020 Beirut port blast on the eve of the catastrophe 6th anniversary. The massive Beirut port explosion on August 4th, 2020 killed more than 220 people, injured more than 6,500 and damaged swaths of the capital. The Lebanese authorities have said that the explosion was triggered by a fire in the warehouse where tons of ammonium nitrate were there, which has been stored, and that was haphazardly for years despite repeated warnings to the senior officials. Prime Minister Nawaf Salem said on X that there can be no settlement at the expense of justice, even if it is sometimes delayed. He vowed no cover for any official, no matter their position, whether in Beirut port explosion case or in any issue. Accountability will not spare anyone. And Ankara and Baghdad on Saturday agreed on extending an oil pipeline agreement by 1 year, just days after a top-level visit by Iraqi Prime Minister Ali Zaidi. In a post on X, Turkish Energy Minister said the agreement was signed following a productive meeting in Ankara with the Iraqi oil minister. Zaidi also hailed the deal in post on X, describing it as an important strategic milestone which would evolve a minimum export capacity of 750,000 barrels per day. The decades-old agreement on the pipeline, which carries Iraqi crude to Turkey's Mediterranean export terminal of Ceyhan, had expired on Monday. The Kirkuk-Ceyhan pipeline has a maximum capacity of about 1.5 million barrels per day, although actual flows have been well below that in recent years. And now with the latest developments taking place in Iraq and its repercussion on the whole region in the following story.
Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati and his Iraqi counterpart Fuad Hussein held a phone call on Sunday and discussed the latest regional developments, particularly those related to the conflict in the Strait of Hormuz. Both sides stressed that sustainable solutions lie in returning to negotiations and adopting peaceful means and dialogue to resolve disputes, thereby contributing to strengthening security and stability in the region. Iraqi Foreign Minister Hussein addressed the situation in Iraq and Iraqi Gulf relations and reviewed the policies of the Iraqi government under the Prime Minister Ali Zaidi, especially regarding the decision to monopoly weapons to the state. Earlier, the Iraqi Prime Minister emphasized during an emergency meeting that it is important to prevent any threat coming from his country's territory towards neighboring countries. This comes days after Iraq's Public Mobilization Force, a former paramilitary group that came under the umbrella of the Iraqi armed forces, said 20 members were killed in Saudi-US strikes against its bases on Wednesday. Saudi Arabia had carried out joint airstrikes with the United States against Iran-backed militias in Iraq, with its defense ministry saying the strikes are in retaliation to Monday's attacks carried out by these militias against Saudi oil facilities. Separately, Iraq's National Security Advisor Qasim al-Aboudi confirmed on Sunday that Iraq supports the approach of dialogue to resolve conflicts and establish peace in the region. According to a statement quoted by the Iraqi news agency, al-Aboudi met with the French chargé d'affaires in Iraq, and both sides emphasized the importance of de-escalation in the region and returning to channels of dialogue and diplomacy as the best way to resolve the disputes and conflicts taking place. Al-Aboudi stressed that Iraq calls for achieving stability and development that serve countries and people, not war and conflicts that bring nothing but destruction, ruin and regression. Regional tensions are simmering amid continuous threats by U.S. President Donald Trump over launching more aggressive attacks against Iran after a weeks-long campaign that left hundreds of Iranians killed in early July, despite an interim peace deal reached in mid-June by the two sides. Agitated by these threats, Iranian proxies in Iraq and Yemen have launched attacks since last Monday against Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states that host U.S. bases. And on Saturday, the U.S. State Department issued new security alerts urging U.S. citizens in the region to prepare for the possibility of flight cancellations, temporary airspace closures, and other travel disruptions. The warnings covered Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel, as well as the Arab Gulf countries. The Iraqi efforts to enforce internal security gain importance as the Iranian shady pilgrims streamed across the border into Iraq to observe the Arbaeen, one of the most revered events for Shiites, carrying portraits of their leader, Ali Khamenei, who was killed at the beginning of the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran in late February. Iranian Shiites flock each year to Iraq during Arbaeen to visit the city of Karbala, where Hussein bin Ali, the grandson of Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, is buried after his martyrdom. This year's pilgrimage is the first since 6 months the U.S.-Israeli war began and has been embroiling Iraq and several other regional countries.
Welcome back. To shed more light on the Iraqi government effort to restore the internal security and prevent any attacks either coming from the inside or the outside, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohamed Mokhtar Darwish, our political analyst. Good afternoon to you, Dr. Darwish.
Yeah, good afternoon.
It's our pleasure to have you with us, sir. Dr. Darwish, how would you describe the Iraqi efforts to prevent the Iranian-backed militias attacks launched from its territory against the Arab Gulf states and Jordan?
Of course, related Egypt mentioned, I'm trying to do several efforts to stopping this war from the part of Iran and the part of what's happening in Gulf, and try to communicate internationally and approach to stopping this war as soon as it could, because it's especially suffering the whole economy related to that war, related to the Hormuz passing, related to that initially that case, to stopping this as soon as could, because it's eventually not becoming just in the Gulf area and the Middle East, it's becoming internationally suffering related to that action.
Indeed. Doctor, do you think that the Arab country actually is capable to control the security all over the territories 23 years after the devastating 2003 U.S. war that gave rise to the greater Iranian influence on the country?
Yes, it's a matter of now to achieving that, to have internationally Gulf Union related to these actions, and to having security saving to Gulf and Arab countries. It's a part of it's a matter to achieving that, to have that security army related to that, and was requesting from Egypt to have that from a couple of years ago, to requesting that initially this. To achieving and saving any action related to Gulf area and Arab countries, related to what happening and what we see on the part of Iran, to have Arab army or something related to that. It was requesting also from Arab Union from a couple initially requesting by Egypt related to that part.
Yes. Sir, also a while back, that is officially considering Wednesday's joint Saudi-U.S. strikes as act of aggression. It stressed it upholds the principle of the state monopoly of arms and the good neighborhood. How that balance could be created from your point of view while we are seeing yet attacks from the territories, and how this balance of power and security could be maintained?
It's a matter of peace and security for all countries to saving them countries. And the part of what's happening, the part of Iran and the part of all what's happening in Gulf, it's really against all the United Nations and all the security issue around the world. And every country has to saving and secure the countries by the part of all the Gulf area, not all the Gulf area, all the countries around the world. And what's happening is against all that rules to saving and protecting countries from any neighbors to doing that or to making that. By the part of the United States, is always changing them opinions and them actions related to the part of Iran, by the war we're going to continue or stopping the war, or the war we're going to have a peace action.
Yep.
And I believe that the decisions and the action will not be ended by soon to stopping this suffering from the part of all the Arab countries and Gulf area especially.
Sir, what is leading to this instability inside Iraq and the possession of arms, and of course this is leading to using the Iraqi territories in order to attack neighboring countries as well? What is leading to this insecurity internally in Iraq, and how that could be stopped in order also to avoid any attacks using the Iraqi territories?
As you mentioned, is now the part of Iraq also has been involved in a game, and we don't want to continue what's happening in the last war between Iraq and Iran.
Indeed.
And continue that by increasing the war circle again in the Gulf and the Middle East. It's not a matter to continue that, and another matter also to keeping this rushing again. No need for that. And it's must to have several supporting from Turkey and Egypt and other countries to stopping this circle, to keeping increasing that circle, because all we're going to be suffering internally and externally. And of course, we're shown very well that on economy and an investment in what's happening in the Middle East and the Gulf had to let the whole world by Hormuz and other related to energy part suffering from that war, not just initially or internally by the Gulf area or the Middle East, nor become now suffering all the whole world related to that economy.
Yes.
Iraq must doesn't get freezing and doesn't respond for the direction of Irani, and of course all the international community requesting from Iran to then be involved again in Iraq, to pushing them also to get and be involved in that war again.
Yeah. Sir, also we have been listening to a statement from the Iraqi government saying that they are exerting effort in order to restore the internal security and prevent attacks either coming from the country or against it. From your point of view, how the Iraqi government can succeed in reaching this very important and challenging goal?
Of course, that as the matter of them security and national security related to Iraq, and the changes to be taken action related to what them getting freezing from attacking or getting involved in attacking on them. But must that action go on the peace way? I mean, go directly with supporting with the community of the UN world and related to the UN and related to the international law, related to requesting to stopping, and Iraq no need for getting back to any war or any sovereign action. Of course, for them economy, of course, for them investment and them future-wise, because Iraq is suffering so much last couple of years, and it must be given through to keep Iraq pushing to a better future and better have beating inside it.
Yes. Dr. Darwish, also Iraq has also been readying for a full withdrawal of anti-Daesh international coalition mission by the end of the coming months of September. Will this withdrawal help restore the nation's ability in confronting the security challenges?
Yes, of course. This is a very important challenge to Iraqi, especially to have that stability inside Iraq for several communities and nations inside it, and to have agreement government and agreement action to be getting back to the world of to get Iraq back to all the nations. It must be supporting Iraq related to that initially and important issues, but no needs for get Iraq back to involve in any other war and any other unstable action. And that need also supporting from the whole world related to Iraq to get stability and get investment and get stable inside Iraq.
Sir, what could be the role here of the Arab League in supporting Iraq's unity, stability and sovereignty?
The Arab League is always pushing that, and they have several planning schedule reference to the requesting need from Iraq to have stable, to have several projects, to have also investment, to have upgrading economy and opening economy to them, matching several market and opening market to Iraqi, with cooperating with all the Arab regions around all the Arab countries, and also supporting Iraq internally and externally around all the international community to have agreement government, to have stability inside it, to have better features and better things to Iraq.
Yes. Dr. Darwish, finally, since, of course, the eruption of the American-Iranian war in last February, we have seen eruption of proxy wars and attacks coming from different directions, attacking the Arab states and Gulf states and Jordan. So, to what extent also this is affecting on the security of the Iraqi territories as well?
Of course, that makes sense. That's why the Irani is feeding or open several circles in that war related to that. And the question is very clear that that there is charging and involving more countries in that war, as you were mentioning in your questions. It's become in several countries in the Arab and Gulf, also was not involved in Jordan before, and not involving also other countries, and being increasing with get Iraq also in that issue, and any other, I mean, supporting or making with the United States. Iran had to involving them in that war. This is not accepted. Iran had must be getting back to the table to arranging and stopping this war today before tomorrow. I believe if there is more pushing around the whole world from international, from European side, and also from others and Arab countries and Gulf countries, to stopping this war immediately, to stopping suffering the whole world related to what's happening on that. And Iran, it's a matter and it's time to stopping that and show. It's not a deal. It's not a. It must be looking for that. It must be a deal or gaining business for what happening. It's a matter of of community. It's a matter of United Nations requirements to stopping this war as we could.
Indeed.
Enough war in that area.
Indeed, Dr. Mohamed Mokhtar Darwish, our political analyst, thank you so much, sir, for your precious input. Always a pleasure. And that would bring us to the end of this edition from Inside the Middle East.